Okay, let's get into it. If you play golf, you know that feeling. It's this emotional roller coaster.
Oh, absolutely.
It can be the most relaxing thing in the world, and maybe 30 seconds later, the most frustrating. We spend so much time trying to fix our slice, messing with our grip, watching a million videos on the perfect swing plane.
Right. The mechanics.
But what if the real secret to a lower score wasn't in your swing at all, but like hidden in your strategy and how you prepare?
That is precisely what this deep dive is all about. This isn't about swing tips. It's about mastering the game long before you even step onto that first tee.
And we're drawing on some really solid material for this.
We are. It's based heavily on Henrik Jentzsch's guide, Mastering the Game. And it treats golf less like a physical sport and more like a strategic performance challenge.
So our mission today is to give you some actionable tactical shortcuts. We're looking at the physical fuel, the equipment setup, the choices you make on the course.
All the things the pros obsess over, but that amateurs, tend to overlook.
Right. It's treating the whole 4-hour round like a mission. And that starts with maybe the most basic question of all. What are you putting into your body?
It's fascinating when you dig into it. Nutrition plays such a foundational role in just maintaining your mental clarity, your focus for that entire round.
Which can be 4, even 5 hours long.
Exactly. Golf might not seem, super intense, but keeping your decision-making sharp and your fine motor skills precise for that long, that requires sustained, slow-burning fuel.
So we are definitely avoiding that quick sugar hit, the one that feels great on the first tee, but you crash and burn by the 9th hole.
100%.
Yeah.
The source material is huge on prioritizing lean proteins and healthy fats in that meal you eat 1 to 3 hours before you play.
So we're talking about things like grilled chicken, eggs, fish.
Yeah, and the reason for that is all about sustained regulation. Your body breaks those down slowly, which keeps your blood sugar steady. If you spike it with a sugary cereal or a donut,
You're guaranteeing that mid-round slump.
you are. And that slump is what destroys your coordination and your decision-making right on the back nine when you need it most.
And we pair that with complex carbs, right? So like oatmeal, sweet potatoes, that kind of thing.
That's the combination.
Yeah.
It's key. The carbs give you that baseline energy, and the protein and fat make sure the delivery is smooth and regulated.
It's like using high-octane fuel for a marathon, not a sprint.
Perfect analogy.
Yeah.
And layering on top of that, it's not just food. We have to talk about hydration. Jensch is adamant that hydration has to start the day before the round.
Not on the first tee.
No, you can't play catch-up with thirst. By the time you feel thirsty, you're already behind.
I think every golfer has been there. It's a hot day, you get to maybe the 13th hole, and suddenly your grip feels weird, your brain's a little fuzzy.
That's it. That's mild dehydration taking its toll.
And the coordination just vanishes.
Exactly. Even a tiny amount of dehydration leads to a measurable drop in cognitive function. It slows down your decisions. It kills your coordination.
Yeah.
It's your invisible enemy out there.
Okay, but what about coffee? I mean, most of us need that morning jolt.
And that's okay. A moderate amount, your standard morning coffee, can actually enhance your alertness at the start.
But there's a catch.
It's a catch. Overdo it, and you get the jitters, anxiety, and it's a diuretic, so it actually speeds up dehydration. Be mindful and make sure you're constantly replacing fluids with water.
So for during the round, what are we packing? We need stuff that's portable but still good fuel.
You're looking for things like bananas, a bag of mixed nuts, maybe a protein bar that's low in sugar.
So we're explicitly avoiding those sugar-loaded energy drinks or sodas.
Please. They're the worst culprits.
Yeah.
They guarantee that blood sugar spike and then that horrible crash just when you're hitting the toughest holes. The goal is steady maintenance, start to finish.
All right, shifting gears a bit to the physical side of things. The source really pushes for walking the course whenever you can. I think for a lot of us, taking a cart is just the default. Why is walking so important?
Well, walking isn't just exercise. It fundamentally changes how you connect with the course. It builds your endurance, sure, but more importantly, it sharpens your feel for the terrain.
Feel. What do you mean by that?
When you walk, you notice the little things, the subtle slopes in the fairway, how firm the ground is. The real elevation changes between your shots.
Which is all sensory data you just completely miss when you're riding in a cart.
You miss all of it. Walking lets your mind process the last shot and really commit to the next one. It creates a better mental flow.
And I guess if you're worried about carrying a 30-pound bag.
There are great solutions now. Lightweight push carts, electric trolleys that follow you. They're a fantastic compromise. You get all the benefits of walking without the fatigue.
Yeah.
You're training like a golfer, not just riding along.
Okay, so let's translate that physical prep into the setup. If fueling right is step one, step two has to be choosing where you play from. And maybe the biggest frustration killer is playing from tees that are just too long.
This is all about progress over pride, isn't it?
It has to be.
Picking the right tees for your actual driving distance is probably the fastest way to enjoy the game more and shoot lower scores. You end up hitting mid-irons into greens, not hybrids and hope.
And the source gives us some really specific yardage data to look at here. For a high handicap player, say 21 or more, your average drive is probably closer to 190 yards.
Right. And for you, the forward tee should be the default, period.
No ego involved.
None. And for a mid-handicapper, maybe between 13 and 20, they're averaging around 205. For them, moving up one set of tees could be the difference between a scary 170-yard shot and a manageable 130-yard 8-iron.
The average male golfer overall is about 225 yards. So even for a lower handicap, say 6 to 12, they're in that 220 to 240 range.
Exactly. So the takeaway is pretty clear. Unless you are consistently bombing it 250-plus yards like an elite player, those back championship tees are just making the game harder and longer than it needs to be.
It's math, not ego.
It's just math. If you shave 500 yards off the course by moving up a tee box, that's 500 fewer yards you have to cover. That translates directly into better approach shots.
So once you've picked the right course length, there's the next big question. Is your equipment actually right for you? Jench uses this great analogy.
Oh, I love this one.
He says playing with ill-fitting clubs is like trying to run a marathon in shoes that are the wrong size.
It's painful, it's inefficient, and it guarantees you won't perform your best. A professional club fitting is just. It's non-negotiable if you want to really improve.
And that fitting looks at things like lofts, lies, shaft flex, grip size.
All tailored to your height, your strength, your swing speed.
Okay, for someone listening who isn't a total gearhead, break down why something like lie angle is so critical. What does that actually fix?
That's a great question. The lie angle is the angle between the club's shaft and the sole. If it's wrong for your swing, say it's too upright, the toe of the club will be pointing up at impact.
Then ball goes left.
Immediately left. If it's too flat, the heel is up and the ball sprays right. A correct lie angle means the sole of the club is perfectly flush with the ground at impact. That promotes a square face and a straight shot.
It just makes so much sense. You're just trying to start the ball on your intended line.
That's it.
And you mentioned something earlier I want to circle back to. Wedge gapping. Why is that so important for scoring?
It's crucial because modern irons have really strong lofts now to make you feel like you hit the ball farther.
Right, the distance iron effect.
Yeah, and that creates these huge distance gaps, sometimes 20 or 25 yards, between your pitching wedge and your sand wedge. If you don't have properly gapped wedges in your bag, you're always stuck hitting an awkward half shot or trying to muscle a club from inside 100 yards.
Which just kills consistency.
It's a score killer. A fitting fills those gaps.
All right, so let's say you've got your gear sorted, but you get to the course late, the range is closed, you're rushed, you still need to warm up. What's the practical advice for that?
The advice here is actually really good. First, take an extra club, maybe 2 irons, hold them together, and just swing slowly.
Focusing on balance.
Balance and tempo. You're stretching those core muscles, not trying to hit it hard.
And the most important cue.
Take a few practice swings right next to where your ball would be. Watch where the club brushes the grass. That tells you instantly if you're coming in too steep and going to hit it fat or too shallow and going to thin it.
That's a great little feedback loop without even hitting a ball.
And mentally, you're visualizing. You're feeling the slope of the ground under your feet. It's a quick, effective warm-up.
So we've covered the prep, we've covered the setup. Now let's get into the actual game tactical course management. The big idea here is a total mindset shift. Play every hole from the green backwards.
Yes. This immediately changes your focus from just raw distance to smart placement. It eliminates so much unnecessary risk.
So instead of just grabbing the driver on a par 4,
you start by looking at the pin, and you ask, okay, where do I want my approach shot to land? Which part of the fairway gives me the best angle into that green?
Let's use the par 5 example. If smashing the driver brings out of bounds or a bunch of bunkers into play, the smarter move is a 3-wood or a hybrid that you know you can put in the fairway.
The goal is always to set up the next shot. It's not about playing hero golf and trying to pull off a miracle recovery.
Consistency beats a spectacular failure every time.
And this mindset applies directly to your approach shots too. The biggest trap for amateurs is aiming at the flagstick no matter what. Jensch introduces this brilliant concept called the cone of safety.
Okay, tell us about this cone. How do you use your own misses to calculate a safer target?
The cone of safety is this strategic area on the green that widens out from the pin. First, you have to know your own dispersion pattern. Where do your shots normally miss? Left, right, short, long.
You have to be honest with yourself.
Brutally honest. If the flag is tucked behind a bunker, aiming for the center of the green gives you a massive margin for error.
So if I know I tend to miss a little left and the pin is cut on the front right over water, I should aim for the center left of the green.
Exactly. You are turning a risky shot that could lead to a double bogey into a high percentage shot that guarantees you're putting for birdie or par. You only attack the pin when it's safe.
And speaking of strategy, we often think of the rule book as, just a list of penalties. But the source makes a great point that it's actually a source of relief.
It's legal power on the course. Knowing the rules gives you options, and it can absolutely save you strokes. Things like knowing how to take relief from a red penalty area versus a yellow one, or from a cart path.
Give us a really common scenario where knowing the rule saves a stroke.
Okay, the cart path is the perfect one. Your ball lands on it. So many amateurs just try to hack it off the concrete, risking damage to their club or blading it across the green.
Been there.
We all have. But the rule gives you free relief. You find your nearest point of complete relief, no closer to the hole, and you get a one club length drop. That knowledge turns a potential disaster into a clean lie. For free.
So download the rules app on your phone. It's a strategic tool.
It is. Now let's talk about the dreaded mid-round meltdown. You've done everything right, but you just hit two awful shots in a row. What do?
The temptation is to start tinkering with your swing.
And that's the worst thing you can do. You start thinking about wrist hinge and shoulder turn, and you just get paralyzed by technical fog.
It kills your rhythm.
Completely.
Yeah.
If you have to adjust, keep it brutally simple. Check only three things: your alignment, your ball position, and your grip pressure. Are you aiming where you think you are? Is the ball in the right spot? Are you strangling the club?
Quick, actionable things.
Yes. And there's one specific tip in the source for slicers, but it's a setup adjustment, not a swing change.
Okay, what is it?
Jensch says to make sure your upper body isn't too far ahead of your lower body at address. You want a slight spine tilt away from the target, sort of a reverse K-shape. It promotes a better launch angle and a more into-out swing path.
A simple way to fight the slice without overhauling your whole swing on the 7th fairway.
Exactly. But at the end of the day, if you're really struggling, the glue that holds it all together is rhythm and tempo. Forget mechanics. Just focus on swinging smoothly.
That's the one thing you can always fall back on.
It's the constant that can save a round when everything else feels like it's falling apart.
Wow. We've covered a huge amount of ground today. From the breakfast table to the 18th green, we talked about advanced prep fueling, hydration, walking.
We hit the smart setup, using real data to pick your tees, and the absolute necessity of getting your equipment fitted.
And finally, that tactical mastery playing backwards from the green and using that cone of safety.
And it all reinforces this one big idea from Jensch. Golf is hard. It's a supremely difficult game, and that's exactly why we love it.
Every golfer knows that emotional whiplash. You hit the best shot of your life.
And then you slice the next one into the trees or miss a 2-foot putt. It happens.
The game will frustrate you, but it rewards patience, preparation, and perseverance. That tactical edge comes from realizing half your score is decided before you even hit the ball.
So what does this all mean for you? It means you accept the journey. The hard parts are part of it. Your strategy is about managing yourself and the course over those 4 hours.
So no matter how you're playing, just keep showing up, keep learning, and keep applying these smarter strategies.
And here's a final thought to leave you with. If you go out this weekend and on every single hole, your primary goal is just to hit the center of the green, understanding that par is always a great score. How many of those double bogeys, the real score killers, do you think you'll eliminate? Focus on getting rid of the big numbers, and you'll be surprised how the birdies just start to happen.